When you say
transfer your life.
probation,
Yeah, probation.
was
to
that
passport.
the actual probation that I'm thinking
Yeah,
about?
criminal probation. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
what?
yes,
Whoa.
yes. So it's growing up. I had a very rough upbringing. My mother was on drugs, and my father was abusive. And so, as an adult, I made bad choices, and I had a drinking problem for a few years, and I ended up in jail a few times. But the last time was.
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to another episode of the Melanated Files. My name is Ranzo and I'm your host, and today we are still in Vietnam and we're joined by Jazzie, right? We're gonna hear her story right here in Da Nang, Vietnam. So here goes. Jazzie, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. Can you look at the camera and introduce yourself to the world?
Hello, world. My name is Jazzie. I am a LA native, Los Angeles. And I've been in Da Nang for about 11 months now, abroad 2 years. I am a dance teacher, a comedian, and actress.
Okay, all right. So why Vietnam?
Well, I left Thailand during burning season last year for a little break, and I planned on going back, but I fell in love with Da Nang. Yeah, everything I want is here: the beach, the mountains, the city life. And everything that I've been wanting to do here is coming into fruition. So I'm just here, striking while the iron is hot.
So was this your, was it love at first sight, or you came here before?
Actually, no. It was my first time here, but for the first few months, I wasn't sure if I really liked it. It had to grow on me. The food, I wasn't sure. I didn't know what anything was.
Okay.
The adults were pointing and laughing, and I wasn't really sure if I liked it. But after about 90 days, I was like, I think this is the place for me. Yeah.
Okay. So it was just mainly the pointing, the laughing, the food?
Yeah, it was just, I was overwhelmed. Being in Thailand, they didn't touch my hair.
Okay.
They didn't stare as much. Definitely weren't pointing. And yeah, the food, it's good, but it was just in Vietnamese. And so even in Thailand, it were a little, we had more, it was just a little
English
more clear.
options.
You can say curry and you can see that that's curry, versus here it's like bang da. You're like, what is that?
Yeah.
But the food's delicious, so yeah.
Okay. So like, what's the main difference between Thailand and Vietnam in your experience?
I think definitely the stairs are different. I think they're not as used to us, at least in Da Nang where I am.
Okay.
There's not as many temples. They do have some, but there's not as many. The food is definitely different. The language, but other than that, it's pretty much the same.
Okay. So how do you find traveling so far, overall?
I love it. I think.
Why did you
really,
leave the States?
Well, I'm black. Yeah, the place, even though we built it, it's not built for us. I didn't feel safe. My husband didn't feel safe in America. He came home one day and was like, hey, I'm ready to go. Are you down? And about 3 minutes in, I was like, yes.
So it was his decision, or his idea?
He came home and he was just like, I'm done. He had seen some friends who had moved abroad. I think we're in Guatemala or something, and his friend kept using the hashtag, when are we all going on strike? And I was like, I know he's gonna come home one day talking about let's go on strike.
Okay.
And I had just gotten off probation, and so I was free and could go, and I was like, I'm not gonna let anything hold me back. So yeah, I was on board, and about 3 months later, we left.
Okay, so here you said you were a dance teacher and comedian, actress,
yes, I
right?
do stand up, yeah.
Okay, so what do you do mainly? That's what you do mainly in Vietnam?
Yeah,
Right?
I do, teach dance, and I also run Black Digital Nomad, so I do that. And yeah, that's my income.
So tell us some more about like Black Digital Nomad.
Yeah, it empowers people of color to gain location independence. So rather than moving for a job, it's kind of building your location independence so you can work from anywhere in the world.
Okay.
And so we just share the Black experience, or not the Black experience, although it's trademarked, but yeah, being Black nomads abroad and how to make money, basically.
So what's the advantage? What's a nomad? Could you explain it more?
Yeah,
I think most people understand, but just
yeah,
for those
not
who might
everyone,
not really.
especially if you're new. But a nomad is basically, I guess, compared to an expat, very similar, but nomads may move around more. So I didn't come here with a teaching job. I worked online and then got a teaching job, and if so, I can still move around with the work that I do.
Okay.
So rather than being based or having someone get a visa for me, or, a company. It's a little different, more, I guess, independent.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you teach people how to do that, or?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the main driving force of what you guys do? Or?
Yeah. Just how to build your passions, turn your passions into profit, and then the act of actually moving abroad, like what's needed, things like that, when someone is not doing it for you. Because I know teachers have it a lot easier.
Yeah.
With everything, the process. So we just walk people through if they want to do maybe 3 months in Thailand or Mexico, and then wherever you can do that.
Do you think more Black people need to be traveling?
Oh, absolutely.
And what do you think it can add to their experience?
Yeah, definitely. I think we definitely should travel more. It'll get us out of a lot of the trauma that we've experienced in our home countries. As far as like my example of them pointing and laughing. At first I was like, taken aback by it, because even in elementary school that didn't happen to me. These are adults, so you're like, but you realize that cultures are different, and that a lot of them have never seen Black people before. We look totally different.
Yeah.
And they're admiring us. I think that if they weren't touching or asking questions, if you're repulsed by something, you're not going to want to touch it. You're not, So just changing our mindsets and being treated differently, and then being seen versus, like, oh, they're staring. And now I say, oh, I'm seen. People see me here. I'm unique. And so it changes your outlook on life, and then you learn so much more about different cultures, and also how much we bring with us, like the trauma that we bring with us, and how we look through we see the world with those same lenses versus kind of like starting over, starting fresh. And the more you do it, the more you realize, like, oh, most people think Black people are dope. Our culture is loved, and for the most part, this feels safer here. And I think a lot of times it's like, oh, stand up and fight, and like we don't have to. You can leave and fight or flight, and we decided to hop on a flight versus the fight. And we're seen here, we're respected.
Literally flight.
Literally fight or flight. I don't want to fight. I feel like in the past life maybe I did, but I'm tired, and I just want to live a life of passion, and that's what I've been able to do here with the newfound energy that I have from surviving to thriving here.
Okay, so what do you like the most about being in Vietnam itself, overall?
I love the people here. They're so sweet and welcoming and warm. I got caught in the rain one day and stopped, and someone gave me a poncho and some tea and let me charge my phone, and they're just sweet, and kind. And also, it's a developing city, and so anything that I've wanted to do, Da Nang. I've been able to do it here, like comedy and things like that. So it's a great opportunity, a great place to bring your talents, and they're welcoming us, even with dance. It's like I'm bringing an Afro beats here, and so they're so intrigued because it hasn't been done here before. So I just feel respected and seen. When
it comes on to Vietnam, I feel like there are, I guess a guy articulated it this way, or put it this way, that there are gatekeepers. Because I did a video where I was talking about the secret. About Vietnam in a sense, but is that really a secret if you know about Vietnam? But it's like so cheap. I was taken aback by how cheap it was. I was like, oh my god, this place is like dirt cheap. Like, why is it going
affordable?
on? I'm like, oh, it's like, I guess, people feel like when I say cheap, it has a negative connotation, but it doesn't. Like when I say cheap, I just mean inexpensive. That's what I mean. Come on, like affordable. Come on.
We just don't want them to raise the price on us. Like, oh, they think it's cheap.
Right. That's the next thing too, right? So I feel like people are like, it's like they want to keep it to themselves. Like, don't.
Oh no, I'm trying to get people here. I'm like, hey, Black people, we out here. I started Sunday dinner. I have a group, Black brothers and sisters of Da Nang. So anytime people need help, I'm definitely offering myself.
So you're there for the people.
I help people find apartments, get their phones started. We're working on a guide now, which has everything you need for when you first move to Da Nang. So, I'm all for keeping the gates wide open and saying, come here.
So there are a lot of opportunities in Vietnam.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Yeah. So as a person of color, or a Black person, like the opportunities are there for you as well.
Yeah. Some people have said they had trouble teaching English here, but then I know people who came and said they were hired within 2 weeks or whatever. So I haven't experienced that particularly, but it's just kind of, I guess, experience based on personal experience, But I also think a lot of times we can have that attitude too, like we carry that with us so much that it may be something completely different, and we hold that, or the energy, So I think it's important for us to just kind of breathe and let just things, not view everything as being racial. I mean, a lot of it is, but not everything, So, yeah,
But it's
a
almost
lot
like,
of
how do you?
opportunities.
It's like it's so hard to decipher. I'm like, is that person? Is it because?
Yeah,
is
and
it-
I guess
is it-
for me, since I don't know, I'd rather just go with good because you're going to go through the emotions anyway. And if you
Yeah.
don't know, then why not say, well, they're admiring me versus
Indeed.
they're,
I'm like,
it's
you wanna
like,
take a picture?
yeah, it's like, okay, put my good side. That's better than you not asking, and it's a picture of me with my mouth wide
Oh
open.
God. Would you say it's safe here?
I feel safe, yes. For the most part, I feel safe. I'm not really out late, I'm married, so I get in fairly quickly. So, but even being alone at night, walking to the store, or getting on a ride, Grab, I feel safe here. Yeah.
Okay.
And then compared to the other major cities, I know I've had experience with my friends saying that they were robbed with their phones taken out of their hand, walking down the street in Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh, and that doesn't happen here.
Okay, so
Yeah.
they were actually like robbed by an actual Vietnamese person?
Yeah,
Like at like
locals.
knife point or something?
No, I guess they just
Or-
are on a motorbike or something.
They
And
just
if your
grab it.
phone's out, they'll grab your phone or snatch your purse.
Ah, okay.
And I've heard of people getting their purses cut off of them in Ho Chi Minh. And
Okay.
even some of the locals have told me like, oh, they're from there, and that happens a lot. But here, not so much. Even the locals, if I do have my bag hanging, they're like, put your bag, tuck your bag, or whatever.
Someone
So-
told me that too. The security
Yeah.
where we're staying in HCMC, he was like, because in Japan I would have it on the side. Like, it's just
Yeah.
like, you don't care, He's like, no.
No, yeah, like tuck that bag, and
Okay.
so.
So I guess it's more so like people like stealing stuff. That's the main thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What drives you personally? Like, what's the wind beneath your wings?
Besides naps, because I feel like you can't do anything tired. My passion really is performing. I love comedy. I love sharing my
Okay.
story of experience, strength, and hope, and writing. But mainly just empowering people of color to know that at any time they can change their life, no matter what their circumstances are. A lot of times we can feel so stuck, and a lot of people don't have, or not everyone has the same story of leaving a 100K year job that they were getting paid, or whatever, coming here to teach. So just knowing that there's different stories and people that you can connect with to know that like this is possible for almost all of us, so that's really my passion, is just kind of being my best self so that others can see that like, we're out here, there's freedom exists, and you can create your own version of freedom,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, the one thing that we're passionate about, like with the channel and what we do, is we're trying to repair the image of Black people
Yes,
globally.
yes.
And some people take offense to the word repair. I'm just like, look,
People take offense to
but I'm
every
like,
fucking
y'all
thing.
know what I'm talking about,
Right, yeah.
Because they're saying it connotates that we are the ones that broke the image or did something. I'm like, no. But still, it's like, even
And
if
anytime
something,
you can repair, it's
Yeah.
our responsibility. So even what happened may not be us, but it's our responsibility to repair
yes,
the
because
image in
no
any
one
way
else
that we
cares
can.
about doing it,
And
right?
who else is going
and,
to?
And who will benefit, right?
Right.
So what do you think we could do as a community or as a people to maybe remedy some of the things that we face in the world globally?
I definitely believe in community over competition. So working with each other, empowering each other. Again, like your channel does, shedding a different light so people can see like, oh wow, we are here. Oh, there are people in Singapore doing this. It's like the Black woman working for Google. A teenager may see that and it's like, oh wow, there's different
possible.
options. So yeah, the representation is very important. Being kind to each other, looking out for each other in any way that we can, and just I think it's really that community is going to be based off anything. So we host a Sunday dinner weekly here to just kind of gather each other and do different things with each other. But yeah, I think it's just kind of building stronger units together and empowering each other.
So what is it like being here with your husband, being a Black couple in Vietnam?
Yeah, it's interesting. People stare a lot, but it's still great. I
Like
love
with a
it.
male one
Yeah.
and a female one?
I'm realizing like, oh wow, we're very unique. But it's great. I love it being together, but also doing our own things, and having our own interests. I think are really important as a couple abroad, because you're suddenly like together all the time compared to back home. But it's been a really dope experience. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm very grateful to have my husband here, because I think a lot of people deal with loneliness with this lifestyle. So having my partner here is great.
Okay, good. So you understand what it's like, right? Because I'm in
Yeah.
Japan with my wife and daughter as well, which makes it's a whole different story when you have kids as well,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But it's a different experience as well from
Yeah.
other people that are here by themselves. But community is important, right? Because if you don't have a person, then community can help you, right?
Yeah,
And then you
yeah.
can maybe try to get integrated within the local community as
Right.
well, and that can be a sort of support system.
Yeah,
maybe,
yeah. For
right?
the most part, yeah, as much as we can.
So one of the videos that I released, right, about Vietnam, some of the comments, not all, people are talking about that they wouldn't encourage Black people to actually come here, right?
Okay.
And some of the comments, maybe like a couple, not
Okay.
a lot. But what do you think? You're here, right?
Yeah.
Would you say, you know what, look, y'all have nothing to worry about, made the move, what would you say
Yeah.
to those people?
Definitely come and experience it, and actually it would make the experience for other Black people traveling easier, because they don't see a lot of us in different parts. I guess definitely not in Da Nang. So the more that they're used to Black travelers, the easier it will become for all of us. And it's not like I haven't been disrespected by anybody. I mean,
Okay.
stares, even like someone did touch my BDB, like the back of my neck hair, but she was just really curious, and I was like, yo.
How did she get to it?
Yeah,
Was she like,
it was
did she?
up.
Oh, it was up, okay.
And so she had grabbed it, and I was like, oh, those are for my husband. Like, no one plays with those, like, do we go together, ma'am? But it was still it's just curiosity,
Yeah.
I didn't feel disrespected, and sometimes I'm like, just don't touch my hair. Like, my husband really doesn't like people to touch it.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like, okay, they don't know. It
Yeah.
is very different. So I think it's safe. It's not like anything to avoid, and it's such a beautiful place. And I think it's good for us too, as people, to experience different things and different people and not run from them. You don't know what may happen from that. Like, I've gained confidence in myself being here, versus like, oh, these people hate me. It's like, no, I'm very different and admirable. Beyonce's Brown Skin Girls definitely helps. So I listen to that when I'm walking. No, seriously, and it makes a totally different experience for me. In the markets, it's very intense in the markets. The energy, it's a lot of energy, and it's maybe from like the dead meat too, and like people all around. But I listen to that song, and it tells you like, oh, they're just admiring you, and blah blah. You're there, and it's like an affirmation. And so it really helps me get through that. But other than that, it's nothing disrespectful. Like, the men aren't. Like, in Mexico, I felt more like, sexualized. Like, they would call me brown sugar and all this other stuff. And Mexican men can be very, and I don't want to make any type of stereotypes like that, but some of the Mexican men I experienced there were very aggressive. Here, I haven't had that experience. They was like, oh, you're beautiful or whatever, but it's still not that. So come on, y'all, like, come on, it's no problem, especially not in Da Nang. But I think you do need to have a certain confidence in yourself too, because it is easy to be like, oh, this is negative, and then take that on.
So would you consider anything that you've experienced racism in terms of?
No, I think it's just curiosity. I think people, especially if I don't think you can be like knowing what racism is. Like, how can you be racist towards someone you don't see or interact with usually? Experiencing racism in America or in the South, being called the N-word or those kind of things, or different jobs not given to you because of that, I think it's racism. So here, for me, it's just curiosity, and if you want to say something else, then ignorance with certain things. But I don't feel like it's racism.
Okay. What's your ambition for life in Vietnam? Maybe the next 2-3 years, even though I know that you're a nomad, so you might be somewhere else, but...
I'm loving Da Nang and the opportunities that it's presenting for me. So 2020, my goal is to do 20 shows in 20 cities with my comedy. So I plan on going really hard in my comedy this year. It's something I wanted to do for years and years before, but work and then confidence. So now that it's happening for me and I've spoken it, one thing about it is like everything I say out here in Southeast Asia, like it manifests so quickly. I don't know if anyone else can identify with that, but
it's like with no opposing energy.
Yeah, it's just like whatever I say, it's just like there was no comedy here when I got here, and I said I wanted it to happen, and then like it's been going with different people too. So yeah, just that, and then also continuing to share. I'm writing a book about my life, and it's probation to passports, and it's sharing my life before this journey and how at any time you can.
When you say
transfer your life.
probation,
Yeah, probation.
Was
to
that
passport.
the actual probation that I'm thinking
Yeah,
about?
criminal probation. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
what?
yes,
Whoa.
yes. So it's sharing that
Well,
story.
so we need to get into that a little bit, because when you said it, in my mind, I thought, for some reason I was thinking about jobs, so maybe like
See,
there's
and that's
flexibility
yeah.
after. So, but then my mom was like, "Is it?" But we got to touch on that at least a little bit before.
Yeah.
So you're writing a book and you want to do more comedy.
Yeah,
right?
but really it's empowering people of color to transform their lives.
We need there's no way you can come here and talk and not drop a little bit. Give us your story a little bit as in a nutshell.
Just in a nutshell. Growing up, I had a very rough upbringing. My mother was on drugs and my father was abusive, and so as an adult, I made bad choices, and I had a drinking problem for a few years. And I ended up in jail a few times, but the last time was for a DUI, and I did 15 weekends in jail, 60 days house arrest, and then 5 years probation.
Okay.
And during that time, I learned a lot about what freedom really is and how a lot of us create mental prisons, and that no matter what happens to us or our circumstances, that we're responsible for that. So yeah, my mom was on drugs, and yeah, my dad abused me, but when I was in the office, my probation officer handed me some shelters to look at because I was living in the wrong place, and she's like, "You need to live here in this city." And I broke down crying, and I was like, "Wow, like, yes, these things have happened to me, but I landed myself in this predicament, and it's my responsibility to, make better choices and change my life." And so I did so. And just showing how we can do that, and how at any time you make the choice to make better choices, you can. I mean, it takes work, and it's, I didn't get here overnight, but I did get here. And so that's what I'm really passionate about. It's just sharing that experience so that people, no matter where they are, know that they can come up out of that, and change.
What were some methods that you employed to overcome that and renew your mind and become a different person?
Yeah, definitely therapy and realizing that.
So you actually went somewhere?
Yeah, but even before then, I was doing mindfulness practices and meditation, all the things that are buzzing right now. I was doing these 5 years ago, but it was working for me. And just for one is admitting that like my life was unmanageable and like this was not ideal for me. And then being honest with myself and taking on the blanks. I think a lot of us are like, this is why, this is why, this is why. And that may be it, but it's within that we can change. And so reflecting, self-reflection, being very honest with myself, doing self-inventory, and meditation and watching the things I was consuming, which is even on television, like stop watching Bad Girls Club and Real Housewives, because it's a depiction, and like we don't even realize like we're consuming this energy, and so later on you may get in a fight with your girlfriend or your husband, right? And you don't even know where this energy is coming from, but it's from what you're watching. So deep. Just changing the influences around me,
So this transformation began or started or came into being 5 years ago, was it?
A little over 5 years ago.
Okay. So that's when you started traveling?
I started 2 years ago. So I worked with myself 2-3 years prior, and I was still on probation while I was doing this. So I got off a year after we left. So a year after I got off probation, I started traveling.
Okay, all right. So that was a transformation, guys. So you see, it's possible. Mindset, right? Just like doing the work.
Yeah, right? And then even being here and having the time, because I don't have to work so much, I'm able to spend my mornings with mindfulness and meditation and affirmations, and like I spend a lot of time with self-development. I think a lot of us will work for other people but not work on ourselves, and so versus 8 hours a day, I work 4 hours and then 4 hours on myself. So match that, or maybe 5, because I want to do more for myself than, But yeah, just having that freedom here has allowed me to grow so much.
Okay. Wow, amazing story. Amazing stuff,
thank you.
Right? So like, where can people find you online?
I am at blackdigitalnomad.com, and then on social media, at Black Digital Nomad, or my personal page is Jazzie by nature. You probably have to write it in. Yeah.
All right, so Jazzie, thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you for having us. Welcome to the Nom. It's good seeing you.
Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and remember to subscribe to this channel for weekly videos on the Black experience across the globe. Until next time, bye for now.